Ah, summertime. The time to kick back, relax, and enjoy a nice evening by the poolside and pray that you don't drop your hot dog in the pool water. Because the toddler sharks. It was a sad day in animator history. Oh, man. So, you know those indoor-outdoor swimming places that you and your family go to when you're about yay high? Well, I went to one of those places when I was about yay high, and it was a lot of fun. For someone who can't swim. Yep, I can't swim. All I can do is doggy paddle, and that's real rough if you ask me. Huh? I'm still a pun master. A perfect example of this inconvenience takes place in the indoor section of the indoor-outdoor swimming place. The indoor section had a big rectangular pool, a basketball hoop, 3 big diving boards, a jacuzzi, a kids section of the swimming pool, and bleachers for the adults to watch their children flail around the dirty pool water. I also got slapped by a pool noodle once or twice. Death by pool noodle aside, me and my brother were just swimming around there when all of a sudden a girl about yay high decided to swim over to us. She asked us if we wanted to play pool tag with her, and being the naive little child I was, agreed. And we have already established that I cannot swim all that well, and that just spells disaster for me. So this is gonna be interesting. So this is how we played pool tag. My brother was it the whole time, and me and the girl had to swim away from him. Pretty easy, right?
Yeah, I'd assume so.
Well, you'd be wrong, because even though I swim like a rock, my brother can swim like he was born in the ocean. So every single round, he was able to get us. So on the very last round, my brother was about to get us, again, and the girl suggested I go underwater. And then I had this whole dramatic thing where I was like, I can't go underwater. Because I don't want water to get in my ears. So yeah, that's how pool tag ended. I think we just stopped because the girl didn't think it had the competence to actually play pool tag. And they're right. But yeah, after all that happened, we did say we would play pool tag again in the future. We never did. And if for some reason the girl is watching this video, then hi. I still can't put my head underwater. Alright, with that out of the way, now we can talk about the outdoor section of the indoor-outdoor swimming place. Personally, my favorite section of the whole place. The reason why it's my favorite is because it had a big ol' slide, a section where a bucket drops water on your head. Sounds painful, but it's fun. It was a lot bigger and it wasn't as rectangular as the first section. And it technically had a jacuzzi, but I really wouldn't call it one. And when you were done with swimming, or you didn't want to swim for some reason, then there was this little hill of grass that you could sit on instead of sitting on the bleachers, which in my opinion is better. But the best part of this whole thing was that the water was way more shallow than the indoor section. You could still completely submerge yourself under the water, but it was at a level that I was completely fine with. My brother also lifted me like Simba. That was a fun time. But with every positive comes a negative, and the negative comes with the slide. You see, the poles that were holding up the slide were filled with bees. Like 3 generations of bees, from the size of the poles and from what my child mind could assume. On multiple occasions, I told the lifeguards that I'm like 90% sure that those poles are filled head to toe with bees. And the lifeguards said they would take care of it, and they never did. I mean, I can understand why the lifeguards didn't believe me. If I were a lifeguard and a kid came up to me and said they were pretty sure that a slide pole was about to explode into a flying butt dagger barrage, then I would be pretty skeptical. But thankfully, I was never stung by any of the bees. Well then, why are you even talking about the bees if you were never stung by any of them? Because the bees were the cause of what happened next. You see, me and my brother were very terrified of bees back then, hence why I've been talking about them like they would bring the eventual apocalypse. We agreed that we needed to figure out a way to get down the slide faster so that we wouldn't get stung by the bees. As me and my brother were discussing our inevitable demise, we saw a group of older kids lay down on the slide, cross their arms, then cross their legs, and poof, they were gone like that.
Maybe we can try that.
Yeah, sure. I don't see any way it could go wrong. So, my brother was up first, and he made it down in one piece, thankfully. And then, it was my turn. As I prepared myself for imminent destruction, I felt a disturbance in the force. I turned to the direction of where the bee pole was, and there they were.
I got a bad feeling about this.
I swear he's never moving out. I psyched myself up one last time, got into position, closed my eyes, and then I went down the slide. And when I opened my eyes, I was surprised to see that the plan was working. I mean, you all already knew that because I did mention earlier that I was never stung by any of the bees. But I also mentioned earlier that something else happened. Well... Yeah, I went completely underwater, and I've said multiple times that I cannot do that. I was basically flailing around like a fish out of water. And because I was panicking so much, I couldn't even see where the surface was. Or maybe it was because of the chlorine in my eyes. It felt like an eternity under the water, but eventually I did see some light. When I got to the surface of the water, I saw my parents cheering, "Good job for going underwater." And in my mind, I was like, thanks, I wouldn't do it ever again. Like ever. After I got back on dry land, my brother told me that he saw me flailing around in the water, and it was hilarious. I mean, I don't blame him. I would do the exact same thing if I weren't in the presence of beepholes, the depths of the ocean, and toddler sharks.
Hey, you made it to the end of the video. Congratulations. Sorry it doesn't look like a normal storytime animation end card, but I don't know how to make one of those, so we're just gonna have to work with what we have, and this is what we have. Also, sorry that the audio for the end card doesn't sound like the rest of the video. It's because Mr. C broke the headset that we were using to record the audio, so yeah, he broke it, so blame him. And speaking of Mr. C, thanks to him for voicing himself in the video, because he's my brother, so that makes logical sense. And yeah, that's pretty much it. How do I end one of these like a normal storytime animation? Wait, what's this? Wait a minute. This is the end of summer? Well, no one gave me the memo. I gotta end this quick. Pasta luego, and don't do cookie clicker.